recently we've been writing an awful lot about AV over IP, and kind of the big point that we've made is it's gone from sort of a conversation, kind of a buzz topic in the industry, to something that's really being widely implemented. And when you think about those system designers, those AV sales folks who are trying to find the right system for their customers, what are some areas that they should be evaluating to make sure that the AV over IP solution that they choose is going to provide the right value to their customer?
Yeah, great question, Tom. Yeah, thanks. And that's certainly something that's been on our mind. As we're talking to our global and enterprise customers around the world, we're very aware of some of the things that they see as, and we see as well as core values essential to a solution today. Let me just talk a bit about those specifically, and I think that will help really answer the question well. Key among them, security. Top of mind for everyone, right? Looking for a secure solution. Scalable, looking for something that's going to scale out to the all elements of the organization worldwide, et cetera. Global solution, and what I mean by that instead of scalable is that this can be supported in all the different environments, sort of that might be required around the globe. Centrally manageable, again, sort of an obvious one, wanting some levels of central control, and usable, easy to use. Very clearly a requirement in any solution that you're looking for. Standards-based, and this is one that we're going to touch on, I think, in a bit more detail around AV over IP, but ensuring that things are not proprietary. And on all of those points, I think what we find is certainly that software and cloud services inherently lend themselves to those needs very well, and AV over IP as a solution delivered through software and through the cloud lines up with those very well. And so if I think about each one in a bit more detail, secure solution, that was the first one I named, right? There are lots of standards around security, but one of the key points with all of them is that eliminating hardware from your architecture inherently increases security. Using the network allows your team to lock down, manage the security of it. There's lots of standards around security for managing and monitoring your network. And so if you have, again, a centrally managed system with all your AV network and data running from a data center, you can monitor, manage, control, and ensure the security of that much more effectively in that way. I mean, so again, that's a great example of where, software and cloud services are lending themselves to that kind of security. The next one I mentioned there was scalable, and what large enterprises really need is the ability to scale up solutions quickly. Scalable is a combination of being able to use standards-based hardware and standards-based software, which are readily available from multiple sources. They can choose how they want to expand. And again, another point on the data center is that's a tried and true path to ensuring scalability, moving things up quickly through the data center. Global solution, the next one I named in terms of those core values. And on this, I'm really thinking about, it doesn't matter the environment, the connectivity levels, and so on. So we've been working with a large global customer that's got thousands of locations. They want to manage them all centrally, but there's not internet accessible at all of their retail locations worldwide. So we need to have a solution there that's both can be managed on-premise or through the cloud. And again, that's another thing that certainly, when thinking about the solutions for your own particular use case, you want to think about whether it can be deployed in all the environments that you're going to want it in. Another point, centrally manageable. So, one of the things the AV industry has the opportunity to do here is learn from the IP industry, leverage all that the IP industry is doing, both historically and today, to ensure that things can be centrally managed easily. Devices are getting smarter, and we certainly see that in the AV world, where displays are getting smarter, sources are getting smarter. Everything is IoT connected, IP enabled, smart displays, smart cameras, and so on. And they need to be hooked together and also need to be centrally managed. And that's a key point on any solution, AV over IP certainly included. And then, of course, a usable solution, something that's easy to use. And we're seeing, more and more services that are software based that are consumers easily and quickly adapt to, and they're really looking for that usability on an enterprise solution as well. People need it to be intuitive and simple and user friendly, and that's certainly the expectation that's emerged. And again, software user experience focused is really key to make it sort of intuitive, easy. And then the last one, Tom, and this is, I think, one of the ones to sort of hammer home on, is the standards based, so not proprietary. Certainly, historically, the industry's been a bit challenged by a lot of custom hardware that becomes both pricey, difficult to manage, and challenging to support. If you require a unique understanding of a particular piece of hardware or software, or you've got a proprietary piece of hardware that needs to be RMA to return, that's only available from one vendor, this kind of thing. So certainly standards-based is an issue in the AV industry that's being addressed more and more often by people turning to standards-based, commercially off-the-shelf based hardware, which they can get from any vendor, and of course ensuring that touches on all of these things we've been talking about: scalability, and of course touches on ease of use and affordability as well. And certainly Userful's position is that the best path forward is standards-based solutions, and leverage the advantages you've got by taking advantage of the IP networks and the standards on those, as well as software-based solutions, which are ensuring all these other things: security and ease of use. And so Userful solutions, Tom, they support all of these points, and that's why we're growing so quickly and successfully.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are great examples, and I just want to add, all the areas that you mentioned, areas that integrators should take a look at. They should look at those in the context of thinking about how they'll be perceived by their customer's IT department, because increasingly it's the customer's IT department that's making a lot of those decisions. And you point to things that are really important to an IT department. The best examples are the security and the proprietary technology. That's really important to an IT department that wants their system to be accountable. And integrators, I think it's really important for them to look at it through that lens when evaluating an AV over IP solution.
For sure. I mean, there's no question about that. And, so many of our conversations are just built on the fact that it's the IT department. I mean, there may be facilities may be involved, operations departments may be involved, but it's the IT department. And when you're talking about AV over IP, you're just inherently talking about the network. That's the IT department. And if you can't get them on board, you're not going anywhere. So there's absolutely no question, Tom. You're absolutely right. This is a conversation you have to have and be ready to have with the IT department, with your customer.